Insider of the bunch joins us every Wednesday to share insight from the world on Insider. And today's Insider is the very beautiful and multi-talented YouTuber, Naelle Song in the studio. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for introducing me like that.
No, yeah, I love your videos and I love your name. Naelle is such a romantic name.
Oh, thank you. It's actually short for Anaël. It's a French name. Yeah.
Sounds even sexier. Okay. Okay. Now, I know that you are a YouTuber, and I did a little bit of like stalking myself to kind of get to know you a little bit, but our listeners probably don't know you that well. And I know you speak a lot of different languages.
That is true.
And so you can kind of think of this as like your own YouTube video and just kind of like introduce yourself. I'll give you like the whatever minutes you need to do that.
Okay. Here I go. Hello. Well, do I do it in English? I usually do it in French.
Okay, so how about this? Since you do speak Korean, you speak French, you speak English, and what else do you speak?
I'm going to say I'm fluent in Korean, English, and French, but I can kind of get around with my Moroccan Darija Arabic.
Okay, so how about this? Let's try to do all of those like just a simple hello, I'm so-and-so, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so this is my opening line usually for the Arabic people because that's the main.
Okay.
Here it goes. Salam alaikum, marhaba bikum fil qannat duali munhat jampong Naelle. Bonjour, je m'appelle Naelle. Hi, my name is Naelle and welcome back to my channel, Munhat Jampong Naelle.
Okay, there we go. That was amazing. I love this.
Thank you.
Now, I kind of did some research and it looks like that through your channel and just pretty much what you've been showing, you had the amazing opportunity to travel a lot when you were younger. Yeah. So how did this start? Were your parents like travelers or did they go for work? Like how did this happen?
Well, my parents are there for work now, but I think my family as a whole are just very into the whole global thing. My grandpa went to Kenya back in the 70s. So that was before the 88 Olympics. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
and
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. They are really into the whole, traveling, seeing the world kind of thing. And so I think my dad had a heart to do that since he was young, and I guess my mom supported it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, coming from like just the Korean mindset, it's not easy. But if you're your grandpa to already be in Kenya in the 70s, go grandpa.
Yeah, go grandpa.
Go grandpa. Okay, so kind of take us through like the steps. Like where were you officially like born? Like how did you live? Like where did you live for how long?
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
I love telling this story. So I don't really know where I'm from exactly in Korea either because I was born in Gyeonggi-do. My dad was doing his military service because he did it in Seoul. So I kind of stayed near Gyeonggi-do for the first 3 years of my life.
Okay.
And then I went down south and lived in Ulsan for 7 years.
Okay.
And then my dad decided to leave for America for a year. So that was when I first encountered, English in 4th grade.
Okay.
So 1 year in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And then we decided to move to Canada. So we went to Montreal in Quebec.
Okay.
So we lived in Canada for a year and a half. So that was around 5th grade. Okay. And then the big move to Africa. We moved to Morocco because, my dad saw an opportunity there. And my parents have been there since. And I actually lived there for about 3 years straight. And then I went to a boarding school in Kenya.
Wow.
And went back and forth between Morocco and Kenya for the rest of high school. And then I came back to Korea for college.
And so you've pretty much just kind of stayed here since then.
Since then, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Except for my traveling days.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that you read about in like BBC and stuff like that.
Oh.
This is amazing. Okay. So now you speak French.
Yes.
Now, other than my knowledge of, a little bit of Canada, I don't see with the French coming in any of that equation. So was that just like an interest or?
Well, my parents, as they are very interested in the whole global thing, and so is my grandfather. They're all kind of linguists, and they see the, advantages of speaking different languages. So when we moved to Canada, after learning English for 1 year, they decided to send me to a French school. So
Thanks, mom and dad.
Yeah, I was like, no, I just started English, and now you're sending me to a completely different thing. And they said, you will thank me later.
Which is true.
I do thank them. It was a great
It's
opportunity. And then when we moved to Morocco, they were like, maybe you should go to a French school, because actually a lot of North African countries was colonized by the French.
Okay.
And so they do have a very strong French education system.
Okay.
Actually, all the universities are mostly in French.
Ah.
Yeah. So I actually thought I was going to, continue on with French starting junior high and up, and maybe take the bac, which is like, I guess, the SAT 수능 of the French, and go to France. That was the plan after Canada.
Okay.
But then when I got to Morocco, they were like, well, you're not French, you're not Canadian, you're not Swiss, you're not anywhere from a francophone country, and we have so many students in line, we can't accept you. So I pretty much couldn't even get into school, which is why I switched back to English.
Wow. Okay, so that's how your English is so on point.
Thanks.
And so you just kind of kept the French up because of what you've learned in the past too.
And also, I mean, in Morocco, in the big cities, you can get around with French.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was a
Nice.
French colony in the past.
Nice. Look at all of our listeners ooh, the wisdom and all of that.
Wisdom.
And Yana thinks that I think travel also affects the genes as well. My grandpa goes around the country on motorbike and there's a face palm. But it's always so great to, I feel that everybody you hear stories of people kind of like, making a certain amount of a living, getting their savings, and then like touring the world after having like their first or second baby. I think this is actually a great aspect because you get a chance to learn. It's like, it's not something from the textbook. It's like you actually get a chance to experience the different countries and the cultures and the languages and just like the mindset of the places that you live. You went to Colorado. That's amazing. Out of all of the states in the United States, you went to Colorado.
Yeah, actually, my uncle also lives in a really random place. He lives in Oklahoma. So, I mean, Colorado isn't that random for us. It's like the state right next.
My knowledge of Oklahoma is the musical I did in junior high.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, even for me, those are some random states.
Yeah, they are very random.
Well, that's just great because those are very beautiful states.
Yes.
Very
indeed.
beautiful states. All right. Now, out of all of the countries that you do have, traveling included, just for vacations or whatnot, I know it's going to be hard. But we have to choose one that you loved the most. Like, it was the food or the people, the culture, the whole atmosphere. Which one did you love the most?
I'm going to have to be a little biased on this, but I have traveled a lot, like not only just with my parents, but, I've traveled on my own a little bit too, through Europe. And I really like the continent of Africa.
Okay.
I feel like they really maintain the 정 that we talk about in Korea. And they're very, very, very friendly, really hospitable people. And Morocco is definitely a really great touristic spot. And I think it's starting to grow more and more and people are starting to travel. But it has, mountains, it has deserts, it has, two different oceans and, well, I guess one sea. And so many different types of landscapes, such good food. Really good food, lots of spices and so many different languages. So I would say Morocco is like a really good traveling spot.
Okay. Wow. All right. So that's going to be on my list to go check out. And I'm going to have to take you with me if I ever do.
Yes, I'm a great tour guide.
Okay. And I was just like, I'll take you.
Yes.
Now, out of like everything that because you do speak a lot of different languages. My listeners are trying to teach you Spanish.
Ooh.
Which I failed during high school because I don't know what it is about school and languages. It doesn't mix for me.
Yeah.
So what kind of helped you pick up the languages? Was living there a big benefit, or what were some of the like knacks to kind of like the know-how for you to pick up on those different languages?
I know this sounds kind of, I don't know, like living there, not everybody can go abroad and live there, but I think that is, the biggest advantage. I would say that's about, 99%. But the reason why that is so effective is because you're constantly immersed in the language and you're hearing it all the time everywhere, even if you don't want to.
Okay.
So, just
Okay.
listening to it a lot.
Okay. So pretty much engulfing your entire life with it. I think that's why when they say that the best teacher in language is love, because like you surround yourself with it. You try to communicate with your significant other, and that's why you pick it up a lot faster.
You should date a Spanish speaker then.
Well, one of our Friday guests is Spanish, and so he's teaching me Spanish every Friday. And our listeners say that I'm getting better at it, but like you're saying, like I'm not immersed in it.
Right.
So it's just like we talk during the show, but then after that I'm just kind of like off. Even though I am interested in the language.
Yeah. I think just, what I tell, because I teach English for a living too, what I tell my students a lot is that if you can't go there, then you gotta have some form of just exposure. So, Netflix.
No, but I've said this too. Like I've taught a lot of moms, like just baby mamas or just people who are planning to go abroad for their husbands or whatnot. And I'm just saying, watch Friends again. Like if you watch Friends and you watch Gossip Girl again, watch Orange is the New. If you watched a series and you know whose character it is, you know what they did, you know who's gonna fall in love, you know who dies at the end. Rewatch it without the subtitles or with English subtitles, and then it'll help. And apparently, like a lot of people that I've talked to, especially Koreans, they want homework. Like they're very used to like I need to write it down, memorize it, have pages worth of stuff.
Wow, that's so masochistic.
Right? It's not the best way to learn the language. But
Yeah, it is. But yeah.
I know that a lot of people do feel more comfortable in that situation.
Yes.
Out of all the languages that you've loved to speak, because I know that every single one of them is probably the best. Like your BFFs, you probably created your own like secret language or like secret code.
Yeah.
Which one do you tend to find yourself like falling into more comfortably? Like French, English, Korean?
More comfortably as in like fluency wise, or like what do I like as a language more?
Like as a language more?
Honestly, I mean, I think everybody agrees with this. French is kind of like the romantic language. And I mean, as much as I've learned it as a little kid, I wasn't like, ooh, French, but it was still, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely French. And I can definitely work on it a lot more, than now. Mine's just pretty conversational.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I saw your videos. You sound amazing.
Thanks.
You sound amazing.
Thanks.
All right. So it looks like a lot of our listeners were saying that I kind of taught myself English. HT was saying I learned English from Power Rangers and English series. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nira's dropping by as well. Nira's actually one of our listeners from Africa.
Oh.
So, yeah, Nira, thank you for dropping by. Our guest for today, our insiders actually did live in Africa for a while. So, yeah, if you have any more questions as well, send them in. I think if I remember right, Nira is from Kenya. So send in your messages. I think we can have like a total moment as well. If you have any more questions for Insider, continue to send those in too. I know that there's some coming in with our V Live. So we're going to take a quick song break. I'm going to give our listeners some time to kind of process the fact that we have the beautiful Naelle Song in the studio today. So if you have any more questions for her, stuff about the country she's lived in, her experience here, her YouTube channel, any of that, we're going to be talking a little bit about that in just a few moments. But something that she tends to do a lot and the perfect song to listen to for it. Portbagan Sachungi, Portbagan 4 is next with Yaheng Travel. It's hour 2 of K-Poppin. I'm your host, Ishak. We have our insider in the studio today. For those of you who've been listening to the first part, you might be fooled. She's not a weekly guest. She's our insider for today. The beautiful and talented Naelle Song is here in the studio. And we've been talking about how she's just been around the world and she knows a lot of different languages and just kind of getting to know her a little bit more. The reason why you're here is because you do something that a lot of people are doing these days. It seems to be like the go-to thing to do these days. So you make your own, you have your own channel, you're on YouTube, and it actually looks like you didn't start it that long ago. So how did this all kind of come together? Like what inspired you to actually pick up the camera, sit behind it and be like, yo, hi, I'm so-and-so. So how did this happen?
Well, I think it was about 2 years ago.
Okay.
There was this app. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention specific names, but there was this app where it puts filters on. It's like a filter camera app, but it had a thing that you could do a live streaming on, and it's not there anymore. But I was like, oh, what is this? Because they said apply to be a creator. I'm like, okay. So I did, and so since then I just started, just live streaming on my phone for fun, And there were a lot of foreigners on it, from all over the world. I'm like, this is so interesting. And I would, say hi in different languages. And they're like, how do you know my language? Because it'd be like really random languages, like, Turkish or, Swahili and Arabic. I'm like, hi. And they started asking, do you have a YouTube channel? I'm like, no. No. And
it's like, what's that?
Yeah. No, I don't really watch YouTube and I'm not really interested. And they're like, why? And actually, I think the biggest nudge came from my friends who watched me do the live, and they're like, why aren't you starting YouTube? That's the thing to do these days. And I think that went on for about 3-4 months before I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do a YouTube.
It's like, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, so that's how I started. It wasn't like, I'm going to become famous and a star.
Well, which is good because honestly, my listeners have been asking me to do YouTube for the past 5 years.
Ooh.
And I have staff to do my show. We have 2 amazing writers outside. We have our Queen Victoria PD님, who is an amazing producer. We have our engineers outside. It takes so much energy and thought and man hours to do a 2-hour program. I ain't doing that on my own, plus editing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To post a video online, because that's pretty much but you're a natural. I've seen your videos and like you were born to be a celebrity.
Yeah,
you're born to be somebody behind the camera. So obviously one of the biggest things I think a lot of people are probably on the fence about, including myself, is like the editing, because we see a lot of videos now that are established.
Oh, yeah.
And if you kind of go back to those videos or those particular YouTubers, like the first video they had, those are pretty like the quality's bad, the lighting's bad. So for anybody who actually might be interested, like in starting a YouTube channel or whatnot, who's kind of on the fence like myself, who's dreading the editing part and the camera part and the lighting part, do you have any advice for people like that?
Well, I think, like you said, a lot of really famous YouTubers, if you go back to the first videos, it's just really, they started off with what they had right then and there. And I think that's what's important, like starting off and going little by little and being okay with not being perfect.
Okay.
And I don't think my videos are perfect in any sense, but I think I've come a long way starting from the first video in terms of editing and things like that. And I think the great part about YouTube is that you see the growth in different people, and that's why people follow you, because they're like, oh, this is how they've changed over the years. And I don't know. So in the words of Nike, I would just say, just do it.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
So a lot of our listeners are curious about what's the name of your YouTube channel.
Well, if you just type in Naelle Song, you can find me. But actually, I guess my channel is called, I address it as 문화 짬뽕 나엘, which if you're just an English speaker, then it means cultural. 짬뽕 is actually a type of food in Korea, but it's also an expression saying you're a mixture, a melting pot.
Yeah.
So you're like a culture melting pot, Naelle. So
which you pretty much are.
That's what I am. I'm a one-person melting pot.
Steve is also dropping by from our V-Live channel, saying that he's loving the fact that he's able to tune in for today. So there's a lot of actual questions of some technical stuff. So I think we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But like I was talking about, one of the biggest reasons why I'm kind of on the fence is because of the amount of content, the amount of energy that takes to go into content.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have 2 writers out there that are amazing. I have a producer. I just have to bring my body here to host.
Yeah.
But you literally have to be a one-man corporation. It's not just like a one-man show. It's a one-man corporation. You have to think about the content. You think about the editing. You think about the effects. You also have 2 different languages, at least in the subtitles. So you have to think about the subtitles as well. So this is all you.
This is all me. It was all me until, well, I mean, with the French subtitles, I've been getting a bit of help for the last, I don't know, maybe 2 months or 3 months worth of videos. But yeah, before that, for a year, it was me.
It was just all you.
It was me.
Yeah. So how do you come up with like content? Because I know that for you, in a way, it could be pretty easy because you do kind of talk from different perspectives of like, you know, the backgrounds that you have and the languages and everything. But then again, because there's so much, it's kind of like, how do you get all that big bubble of a brainstorm to like into categories and organized and everything? So what's it like for you?
Well, I think I use a lot of references too. You know,
Okay.
I look at other YouTubers, and actually, you know, one of my inspirations was 영국 남자 because you know he's somebody from a different culture who's talking as a foreigner, but a very he's well educated about Korea and he loves Korea.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where I was like, that could be my inspiration. But I think before I started the channel, I'm like, well, I don't want to be like, well, guys, I ran out of content like
Bye.
the first 2 months. So I actually came up with a list of potential videos, like at least like 100 videos before I started. And I mean, believe me, like half of them I was like, well, I mean, now that I've started, this doesn't seem very appropriate, and I had to cross it out. But, you know, just seeing, there is a need for this kind of, you know, content and, you know, people are interested in this. So you would just write it out and just do the ones that I think are fun.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I feel that just writing it down at first would be the best way to do that too. Nero was asking, what do you normally vlog about or vlog about? Let me ask an expert. What is it? Vlog or vlog? What is this?
So I've noticed this. Koreans, because they don't have the sound difference between a V and a B, there's already a word for blog. So it's blog. But if they say vlog and blog, there's no difference in sound in Korean. So they say vlog in Korean. But I think in English, they just say vlog. Yeah, because there is a difference. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I had an expert clear the air for me because every time I look at those, I'm just like, that's just vlog. But then when I look at certain Korean content, like you were saying, it's vlog. I'm like, wait, okay, I need to ask this. You do a few mukbangs too, because I think Nira just looked you up and you do have a few eating broadcasts.
Yes,
you
I
have
do.
A few mukbangs.
I do. I'm not very great at it, I must say. I think for mukbang, you either have to be really good at like eating it and like just scrumptious, delicious. You're like, but I mean, I love food, but I don't think my like expertise is in eating food in the best way or eating a lot, because some mukbangers eat like a ton, and my stomach's like this big.
So you have a small stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. Nero was asking, do you feel that getting subscribers is very important? Because honestly, I feel that a lot of in the beginning too, like when I was starting to get into a lot of videos, I didn't subscribe and I didn't press the like button because I was just like, they're telling me to.
Yeah.
So you know, us humans, we're just like, we do the opposite of what we're told to do. I'm just like, why are you shoving like subscribing and liking this video down my throat? Like before I even watch the content of the video. So do you feel that subscribers are important?
On one side note, I think now that you say that, you know, people don't like being shoved, maybe I'll start saying, please don't subscribe to my channel. Yeah, but anyway, I guess the number definitely has an effect on like how you market yourself. When people are like, oh, so you're a YouTuber, how many subscribers do you have? It's like, oh, a 10K or like 100K. It's the difference in sound. But ultimately, I mean, if you're trying to make profit or if you're trying to, you know, see what's actually more effective, then what counts is, you know, how many views you have, how many people it reached. But so I think in a way it's kind of important, subscribers. But yeah, honestly, in the end, for the effect of, you know, influence, I think it's the views that are important.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so we do have a lot of interesting questions that are coming in. So if you have any more questions for our beautiful insider today, I'm going to be asking those in just a few moments. But we're going to take another quick song break. So I give our listeners a little bit of a chance to kind of suck in and let it all sink in of what we've been talking about today. In the next song break we've got Madtown singing Yellow. On K-pop, and that means it's hour 2 here on a Wednesday. I'm your host, Isak. Today's insider is the multi-talented, beautiful. She can make her amazing like weekly debut guest in our like debut here. We have Naelle Song in the studio, and we've got a lot of questions coming in. So Yana was asking, what is your travel style? Now, I feel that this is pretty big when it comes to like there are certain people that needs to be on like the tour package, like bust this and do that and take pictures here, or are you more of like a backpacker, or like what kind of style do you have?
I would say I'm closer to a backpacker, but in a more Instagrammable way. Yeah, I love taking. Well, I like being taken pictures of. Is that English? Hold on. I love it when people take pictures of me. I like taking pictures of myself. Wow, I sound so conceited, but I like I actually just want to soak in the like environment and the atmosphere rather than, like all the famous places, I just like the local feel, the local food, the local people, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite travel partner? Is it yourself? Is it like a friend? Is it family?
I love traveling. I've traveled alone before, which is cool too. I think it's good once in a while. But actually, I traveled Europe in 2016 for like 3.5 months with a friend. And that was so fun. And
really?
Yeah. She is my college friend, and she's very into photography too. So we would take pictures for each other and go to like really local places. We actually like didn't even go to like the really famous places that I was supposed to go to, like the Louvre. If you go to France, I'm like, we don't have to go there.
It's like, no, that's next time.
Yeah.
All those touristy spots, nah.
Yeah, and I have no regrets. It was so fun.
Well, no, yeah, definitely. Okay, from our V Live, we have one of our listeners, Sarah, who was asking, the last video, it looks like, was posted in June. Is there more content coming for the viewers?
Right. So I think right now I'm kind of at a rest point where I'm really thinking about it, because it's been about a year and I mean, I do have content. It's not like I ran out of ideas, but I've been noticing what things people are interested in and what things, like that I would like to do that maybe isn't appropriate for this channel. And so just kind of organizing my thoughts. And so I think it's taking a bit of time to just rearrange my things.
Okay.
Yes, I am gonna do more videos, but it is kind of indefinite right now. At least somewhat between the end of like September to maybe November, I'll try to post something, but I'm really wanting to do it right.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Definitely. So Nero was saying, I'm tempted to start doing YouTube as well, but Isak says you need a lot of effort. So I think it was because she was asking about like the income for this. I actually asked a few of my friends who are on YouTube as well. Like, apparently it's different for a lot of different, there's a lot of different streaming platforms at the moment. But for YouTube, I feel that like they have certain rules. So like you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, right? And you have to have a certain amount of views, right? For like everything to start to get the ball rolling and everything. Yeah. So it looks like you have to have a certain amount of hours, I think, of your videos viewed before you start making an income.
4,000 hours within the span of past 6 months, I think. So it has to be like a certain amount of views per
month, like a time
per
frame.
time frame, yeah.
So it's like I've had the channel for like 5 years, but now I just surpassed the mark, and this is probably not going to work.
Yeah, well, I mean,
if that's the case,
I think it's that they start raising the standards more and more because people are just
flooding
jumping
into
in.
it. Flooding into it.
Yeah.
But I feel one of our listeners actually said this earlier, but if you're gonna make content like this, you really have to be passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Like even now, I feel that our insider for today, the reason why she's kind of taking a break is because she has more passion to do different content. Nira says, do you think Koreans are coming out of culture shock now that K-pop has opened you up to the world? Interesting.
So like Koreans are coming out of culture shock of the rest of the world, or
I think so.
I think in a way we're still kind of cocooned in our, very monocultural, monolingual society. it is becoming more and more global, so a little bit. But I would say even K-pop is a very, we're a very unique nation, and we like making our own things, and we're very satisfied with our own entertainment, which is great, because that means we're great. Like we're good at doing entertainment. But I think we could be a little more open to other cultural, like, do you know any artists from Indonesia?
Yeah, I feel that, broadening the horizons a little bit would never hurt.
Yeah.
Ami's asking a question, and I think this also falls into what Nira is kind of thinking too. So my boyfriend hopes to be a YouTuber just like you, but he would like to quit his job and become a full-time YouTuber. Do you feel this is wise? Because I feel a lot of people are doing this these days.
Yes.
They're just like, nah, I'm going to quit and do this.
Do you want really practical advice?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Like straightforward,
Okay.
no icing, no cherry on top, no sugar coating, no caramel on the side.
I would say generally, no, it's not a great idea to start off that way. I think the wisest thing is to ease out of your job if you do well with your YouTube. And especially, it depends on what country you're in, because depending on where your subscribers are, the rate for the advertisements are different. Yeah. So I make like a lot less money than if somebody would have like 80,000 subscribers in America.
Okay.
Definitely a different rate. And so it really depends on what kind of killer content you have. If you have an incredible content that you can get the whole world to watch, sure, you can quit your job. But if you're like, well, I'm starting this for fun, this is my passion, but I'm going to quit my job at the same time, I would say like just kind of wait it out.
Wait it out a little bit. Test the waters.
Yeah, test the waters.
See the first couple of months how it works. See if it actually does do any type of income. Because I follow a lot of YouTubers that actually bring on different platforms like Patreon and a lot of other subscribing platforms just to make, a little bit more on the side.
Yeah.
Because that one particular channel is not producing a lot of the income.
Yeah.
Okay. So where is your family now? And do you miss your family and friends?
My family, we're actually kind of all over the world right now. My dad travels a lot for his work too. But my parents are settled in Morocco for now. And my brother is studying in America.
Okay.
And I'm here in Korea. And all my relatives are all over the map. So yeah, we don't get to see each other very much. So yeah, I do miss them. And my friends are actually all over the map too. So it's kind of sad, but also very cool. And you have places to stay for free if you
do go. If you do go.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you got a chance to go home?
Yes.
Where your parents are in Morocco?
Actually, I was there from last December to January this year for a little bit. And if you see on my YouTube channel, I actually made like a series of videos about like touring Morocco. And I actually wanted to do like a meetup so I could actually see my, subscribers for the first time. I wanted to do it in one place, but Morocco is kind of big.
Yeah.
It's like the size of California. So I'm like, you know what? While I'm traveling, I'll just go to different cities and meet different people. So there'd be like 20, 30 people per city. And it was so much fun traveling and meeting people in different cities. So,
okay. Yeah, guys, go check that out. I did get a chance to see just a quick bit of some of those videos as well. But thank you so much for joining us. I think that honestly, this is most definitely like an audition for you so that we can have you back in the studio, try to bring you back into the studio as much as possible. So thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything that you'd like to share with the listeners today that maybe like more content coming, meets and greets, live streams, anything?
Don't subscribe to my channel
To get them to subscribe.
I am working on it, and I really want to come back with some meaningful content.
Okay.
Like as much as I love, making people laugh and entertaining, there are, things that I want to talk about that are, deep thoughts too. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I might do a completely new channel. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a creative solution. So please wait for me.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Well, don't subscribe so you can get more subscribers. As we send her out of the studio, what we're going to do today is take a listen to Back Kids with their track Hatte, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.